Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a crazy past couple of days in the world of Warzone, and honestly, things are not going to be slowing down anytime soon. We've got the Haunting event coming up here this week, then Vanguard is pretty much right around the corner now. However, that said, over the past 36 hours or so, we've seen some more interesting things surface regarding Warzone, specifically revolving around the anti-cheat updates, then also some other mini updates in-game as well. So, as we go over it all today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Seriously, does help the channel grow. And of course, if you're new here, or if you haven't already subscribed, this is the place to be for everything going on in COD. News, updates, intel, loadouts, tips, it is all right here every single day. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on to stay up to date with everything there. Also, right now, code Immortal is still boosted to 30% off on all G Fuel products. They've been dropping a bunch of new flavors recently, so if you want to get a new tub, try a new starter pack, get a new shaker cup, anything like that, code Immortal has it covered with that nice 30% off discount. So first things first, let's go over the little mini update that went live just here recently. Really nothing too crazy in this whole patch update. This went live alongside the Iron Trials update for this weekend. Obviously, we now have Iron Trial Trios back in the game. The only change they made there was the fact that sniper rifles now only one hit through 40 meters instead of 50 meters like it was previously, so nothing really too crazy with that one. But more so, we are interested in the actual physical patch notes that came alongside this mini update. Initially, they actually added in a new accessibility feature for tactical sprint. Basically, now it says, tac sprint allows players to eliminate the need for double tap on analog sticks. This option is intended to support fine motor accessibility. This menu option is located within the controller tab of the options and accessibilities options menu. And it now has 3 different options just for regular tac sprint. Keep in mind, if you use auto tac sprint, this doesn't really apply to you, but if you're not a fan of having auto tac sprint, if you use a lot of akimbo weapons or shotguns, it sort of hurts you in certain ways there. So if you just use like regular sprints on, if you have these settings turned on, basically double tap is going to be like the whole default. Obviously, you double tap your stick in to get the tac sprint going. You can also choose to have single tap from sprint. So you just got to tap it once and you're good, or you single tap from your run. And sort of depending on what you feel like is the most comfortable there, you can change that up a little bit. Honestly, if you don't use ATS, these are super helpful options. And like I said, it's actually pretty useful if you're someone who avidly uses shotguns or akimbo weapons or other weapons that are affected by ATS. Then on top of that, this update did also include some smaller bug fixes, small in the general scheme of things, but they actually are pretty annoying things that were fixed here. Initially, they fixed an issue causing weapon modifications to lock players out of the armory. So if you went into the armory at all previously, it boots you back out to the main menu. That and being able to actually mess with different blueprints on guns should be updated now. They also fixed an issue causing incorrect text to appear for certain locked attachments, an issue causing players to return from the gulag and be kicked for apparently being AFK. Never run into that one, but definitely glad that's fixed now. They also fixed an issue causing players to get kicked out of the looking for party menu, then also an issue that caused players to get a crash while modifying loadouts during a live match. So like I said, nothing too crazy in the grand scheme of things in the overall spectrum, but a couple of bug fixes here and there. Now, the real big piece of news that's been sort of like the main talk of the community over the past couple of days, I would say 24 to 36 hours, has been the anti-cheat quote-unquote leak. We talked about this in its own separate video the other day, where basically news came out from a handful of different insiders and data miners that people were getting their hands on the driver for the Ricochet anti-cheat a day after that it was revealed and promoted and gassed up, right? Obviously, we talked about that in its own video too. Call of Duty revealed the Ricochet anti-cheat, this kernel level based anti-cheat that should be putting a pretty big stop to the cheaters. It's not going to completely eliminate every single last cheater in the game because nothing will ever do that, but it's going to actually be an anti-cheat, a real anti-cheat that should solve the vast majority of the cheating problem that currently is just riddling Warzone with problems, right? Well, that's great and all if it works when it's launched, and the fact that the driver apparently leaked out had a bunch of people very concerned because essentially then cheaters could reverse engineer that driver and sort of figure out what was going on there. Then day one when it launches, they could have some bypasses already in place and it'd basically be like the anti-cheat didn't even exist. But Call of Duty actually responded to this quote-unquote leak. Now the thing was, when that information surfaced, when the driver apparently leaked out, we weren't really sure if that was an intentional leak, if it was sort of that decoy that was sent out to fool some cheaters and some cheat developers, or if it was indeed somebody on the inside releasing something that, spite Activision or whatever it might be. But Call of Duty tweeted out this. update from Team Ricochet, which yes, they do have a whole separate team dedicated to just this anti-cheat. They say Ricochet anti-cheat is in controlled live testing. Before putting it on your PC, we're testing the heck out of it. So obviously they are thoroughly going through and making sure that this thing is actively working. It would make no sense to, put something out that you haven't worked on, right? No surprise there. The testing includes providing a pre-release version of the driver to select third parties. Now that is the big part of this. They are 100% confirming here that they intentionally released that driver for people to test out and try and reverse engineer and try and break it specifically so that they could stop that from happening when it launches. This entire thing was an elaborate plan from Activision, basically trolling these cheat developers, saying, hey, here's the driver, have fun with it, because they know when it launches, they're going to be able to counter what's going on there. They also say it is readying server-side upgrades for launch as well. Then they follow up that tweet by saying Ricochet anti-cheat response has been wild this week. So yeah, all good with the explosion emoji. So Activision is very, very confident in this anti-cheat. I mean, rightfully so. They are promoting the heck out of it. They've got trailers for it. This is our second official announcement on it. The first one being obviously that it exists in the first place and it's coming with the whole Warzone Pacific update. But the fact that they are gassing it up like this and tweeting about it like this, saying, yeah, we're releasing pre-release versions just simply to test it so that we can make sure it's going to be as optimized and as fine-tuned as possible on release, to me just speaks volumes that they are overly confident in the fact that the Ricochet anti-cheat is going to basically obliterate the cheating problem that we currently have in game. Now, as talked about, it's not going to be this 100% foolproof thing. People are still going to get around it at some point in time. That's why it's going to be an ever-evolving thing. Things like Chronuses and whatnot are still being worked on. They have to basically get Microsoft and Sony to agree to helping out with that before they can really take that extra step and try and get this anti-cheat to counter things like that. But at the end of the day, it's officially confirmed now there was no real leak with this anti-cheat, which is great news for everyone, I would say, except for maybe the cheat developers. You're a nerd still. It's great news for everyone because it's basically just them saying, yeah, we're confident in this. We have full faith that this is going to work. So good news coming from that, which is quite the turnaround from what would have been very, very bad news if this was an accidental leak. But I'm glad to hear that this was indeed intentional and they're fully confident that doing such things right now, releasing this pre-release version to sort of have people try and break it, is going to make the end product even better. Obviously, any anti-cheat at this point is better than what we have now. But yeah, little sort of wrap-up video of what's been going on in Warzone over the past couple of days or so. That's going to do it for today, though. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Really, really does help me out. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, we are on the road to 800K. And every single day, we are always covering everything going on in COD. News, updates, loadouts, tips, it is all right here. So feel free to subscribe. That way you can always stay up to date. As I mentioned earlier, right now Code Immortal is 30% off everything on the G Fuel site. So if you want to grab a new tub, if you want to try a new flavor, get a starter pack, a shaker cup, anything like that, Code Immortal has got you covered there. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.